Oh, battery's about to die. Welcome back, guys. Today we're playing the shell game. If you guess what's under where the thing is that I'm going to put under it, you win it. Are we using clear cups to make it easier? Yes, we are. No, that's not what we're doing. No illegal gambling here. We are looking at this, the AutoAqua. The AutoAqua Smart AWC water changer, top off, anything you could ever imagine. Let's open this sucker up. Let's get right into it. Come on. I gotta change the battery. Alrighty, let's open this bad boy up. This is an all-in-one. You can do an auto top off with it. You can do an auto water change with it. Yes, you heard me right. We can change our water automatically. This has 3 little pumps in here, 3 little sensors, optical, mind you, optical if you're a fan of optical instead of the little float switches. So it has a lot of capabilities, and in a small package and a pretty small price. So we actually really appreciate this, and let's go ahead and open this up and see what's inside. We have the manual, 1 pump, 2 pump, 3 pump, our brackets, which will hold the optical sensors, I believe. Actually, no, I think these might be for the tubing. Probably for the tubing. Lots of tubing, because who can go wrong with making sure you have more than enough tubing. And then, of course, we have the controller, which will have 2 optical sensors right here. And then our transformer. But we had 3 optical sensors. Actually, let's pull this back up here. So we have our 2 sensors, 3 pumps, a nice little diagram on the back of quickly how to set it up. Actually really simple. We have the 1 pump that's going to be utilized for our auto top-off reservoir, 1 pump that will go into our salt water, our fresh salt water, the new salt water that's already pre-mixed, ready to go, that reservoir, and then our last pump will go into your sump, tank, whatever you're doing. Obviously, I wouldn't probably recommend it for a tank, but so for me, I'll put it in my sump. And then in each of these pumps, there is, for safety, a siphon break. This has to be installed. It's extremely important. It's in every packet, and this basically makes it so you're not going to deal with siphons and backdraw, because if you get that, we all hate backwash, and our tanks hate back siphons. So this has a hole in it basically to ensure that as soon as it is done pumping, that air gets inside and completely stops it. If this is underwater, you defeat the purpose. So this is very important. It's what I have on my Neptune ATO, and that is right at the top of my Bash C container, because that is water constantly shoots out. There's a little hole here, you can't really see it probably, but right there, I don't know if you can see that makeup, there's a hole here, and so what will happen is when it's pushing out, it's going to pump water this direction. Water is usually always going to be spitting out of it. That's why you want to be careful about placement on these, and why they have to be above water then is once that water stops, obviously it's going to gravity back down, and you need this little part here to suck in the air. So once this sucks air, it'll break up that water, and it'll make it so it doesn't keep drawing out of your sump and cause lots of messes. So that is extremely important to pay attention to. Read the instructions on that part. If you've never done it before, make sure you add the anti-siphon brakes. It literally says it on every single baggie here for the pumps to make sure that you do not forget about it. So these little pumps, they are tiny. They are a max, let's see, 4.8 watts. Their max head pressure is 6.5 feet. So actually you have pretty impressive head pressure on this, which is pretty surprising considering we're just going probably, what, a foot up maybe. But you do have the ability to push almost 6.5 feet. Then the max flow on this is 74 gallons per hour. Obviously that is at 0 feet, so once you pump up, you will get less out of that. But nice little pumps, pretty powerful. Take apart, clean them, do the norm for it. We do have this little grate so that protects it from getting any detritus in there. That'll be important, especially for the one that's in your sump. You want to make sure you have it in a place that's going to be clear. And then we have our 3 little suction cup feet on there, so that'll be nice. We have our optical sensors here. This is magnetic, so this can hold up to ½ inch thickness. I wouldn't recommend over that because obviously as you get further away, it's just not going to have the power, and if this goes up and down, you're in big trouble. So I wouldn't recommend anything over ½ inch. If you do go over ½ inch, you'll definitely have to get a stronger magnet for the outside. But these are, this back magnet here is like almost a rubber silicone coated, which is really cool. You get 2 of them. Both of these sensors are going to be going into your sump. One will be for the low level, one for the top level, and obviously that will determine how much it's changing out for water. You can see on the controller here, we have sensor 1 and sensor 2, and then on the bottom, you'll see we have our ports for all 3 pumps, as well as our power supply. So let's go ahead and hook it up. All these guys up. I brought these because it's a little bit harder to see everything under my tank because it's a little cluttered with the Bash C, ATO, and the sump. There's not much room to get the camera down there as well, so we'll just kind of do a makeshift here on these containers, and we'll fill all of them up, and we'll get it set up as if we would on our system, and we'll run it, and you can see what it looks like. So let's get these unpackaged, and let's see what this sucker can do. All right guys, officially plugged in here. Just to run down the setting. I will warn you, lots of wires because we have 3 pumps, 2 sensors, controller. There is a lot of wires going around here, so keep that in mind if that bothers you. But to get this done, that's how it kind of has to be. So let's go ahead, run down this. This is the fresh salt water. That is what we are keeping a reservoir. So when we want to do the water change, this is fresh salt water that will go in. This is our sump in the middle. We have our high level. Our low level is in the back there. This is how much is going to be changed out. And then over here is just a simple waste container. Okay, let's get to it. As we can see here on the front display here, we have days, hours, ATO, AWC. This ATO is off. Since I'm not running it, we can turn it on. AWC, we can do it on auto or manual, and then obviously we can set everything up. Our days, our hours, pump 2 and pump 3. Pump 1 is over here, is for the ATO. Pump 2 is for our waste pump, and pump 3 is for the new. And then we have up here in the right hand corner, these little bars are referring to the speed of the pump. So you can actually slow down the speed of these pumps. It doesn't actually slow the motor. What it does is it kicks it on and then turns it off. Kicks it on, turns it off, kicks it on, and turns it off. So then obviously we can set everything. We can set our speed here that we can do. And then we can set our days. Here we have it set for 9 days, so every 9 days we're going to be doing a water change. You can go up to 99 days and I think 23 hours. Let's set it up so we just do a manual one, and I'll show you how it's done here. We are now on AWC manual, so we'll just hit this little arrow. Now that one is done, so we'll just go up here and hit it again. Let the second pump go. And there we go. Both stopped, and both, you see, do not have any siphons going on because it starts sucking air into our anti-siphon brake. So I'm going to take this siphon brake out right here, and we're going to put it back on this pump, and we're going to run it again, and you're going to see what happens here when you do not add one of these. So anti-siphon brake is out of the first one. Let's run it again here. First pump is done. Let's move on to the second. And it stopped. Now, what we see happening here is this reservoir is filling back up slowly. Now, it's not going to go far because we're just in small containers, but it's going to fill up until this water line hits the bottom of this tubing and air can be sucked in. So now, as you can see, our first container is about halfway filled up. This is about halfway down. And if I take it out, it'll stop it. And now this air gets into the tube and we're done. But you can see what type of catastrophe you could have with your tank if you don't have this anti-siphon brake and you start pulling directly out of your sump. Depending on how low this tube is, you could drain your entire sump if you decided to accidentally put that all the way to the bottom. This is pretty cool. I'm actually really excited to get this on the tank. To have an ATO and a water change system all in one is that's pretty cool. So this does have a memory to it. So if your power goes out, it will continue once it turns on. If it's during a process, it'll just wait a little bit and then start that process. Obviously, if it isn't going and you have it every 24 hours and your power goes off for an hour, keep in mind it's going to be an hour delayed because the timer was not running during that power outage. So it will keep its memory. It'll just be delayed whatever amount of time that power is out. So keep that in mind. You can also, of course, go and reset it or manually turn it back on and do that. So that's pretty cool. It'll be nice to try out and just see how it compares to, say, the Neptune and running a GHL, or if you have something else. You know, we like to compare things. We like to make sure that they're doing good. The only thing I don't like is this, but this could easily be rectified with just a little bit of cable management, some zip ties, getting it all bundled up. This is easy to take care of. All right, guys, that is it for me. I'm excited to get this on. I know we've done a video on this before, but I wanted to get it on this system because it's nice. I've heard a lot of great feedback on it, so I wanted to try it out, and we're going to put it on this system and see how it does, and see how it compares to our little Neptune buddy that we got going on, and our GHL that we had running. So, out of water changes, I mean, who can argue it, right? I don't know if you're like me, but I tend to sometimes get lazy, and sometimes I don't want to do maintenance on my system. Well, hello, AutoAqua. Thank you very much. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications to stay the most update on this system, as well as those other videos we're putting out, and I will catch you in a short 2 weeks. Stay happy, healthy. Stay happy and healthy. Positive vibes only, guys. Peace. See ya.